Okay, Marie, if you want to start us off, if that's agreeable.
Yeah, that's fine. So welcome everybody to our Biosphere session. I'm really pleased to be given the opportunity through Ballantrae Festival of Food and Drink today. This is a special year for Biospheres. It's our 50th anniversary of the UNESCO Mono Biosphere programme. And a big strength of our Biospheres is the fact that we're part of a worldwide network. So we've got 700 biospheres in the world, and it gives us many opportunities to sort of share and learn from each other. So this festival actually seemed a perfect opportunity to bring food and tourism business supporters from our biosphere in Scotland together with businesses who we've collaborated with in the past from Finland and Norway, sort of to celebrate what's great about our food and drink across all our countries. So I'm happy today to welcome Annie from North Karelia Biosphere in Finland and Helene from North London Biosphere in Norway, and as well as Lindsay from our own Galloway and Southern Ayrshire Biosphere. So welcome everybody. I'm going to hand you over to Howard now, who's going to be running the rest of the session and facilitating the discussions going forward. So thanks, Howard.
Well, thank you very, very much for the invitation to help facilitate this event. Just for a moment, it's worth reflecting. The Biosphere operates. Have you got the map there? Could you put the map up, Craig, please?
Yep. We'll share screen. We can do that. Can you guys all see the screen? Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. That is the one you were after. Do you want something?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So obviously we're in the southwest of Scotland, and the total area of the Biosphere is approximately how many?
5,500 square kilometres, roughly.
Yeah. Okay, 5,500 square kilometres. So it's a pretty big area. Talking about whether there's more sheep there than people. There clearly is a lot of empty space in the middle. And you can see on the left-hand side on the coast there, Ballantrae, and there'll be opportunities for us to pick up on that. For what it's worth, I live about 12 miles inland from there in a tiny little valley. So it's a pretty remote area. But the fact that it covers 3 unitary authority areas, in other words, local council areas, is interesting, because it means that the Biosphere is in a unique position to influence policy and the rest of it. But thanks, Craig. It was just to help everybody understand where it is. And I'm delighted to say, looking at who's on the call now, that one of the people who's on the call is Joan Mitchell, who is the chair of the Biosphere. So Joan, could you just wave at everybody? There you go. That's Joan. She has a tough role there, running the Biosphere. But the other people who've joined us, we've obviously got Donald Reid from Slow Food. Craig has joined us from Visit Scotland. Our chair of the whole festival, Viry, is there. Walter Mowat from Slow Food is with us. Gregory Marshall is with us. You'll hear more about them tomorrow. They have this wonderful sea salt. And we have a colleague of ours who is a chef, Ian. So at the moment, there's about 10 or 12 of us on, and maybe a few more. So what we're going to do, if we may, is to just ask each of our speakers, and there's been had to be a slight alteration today in that we won't be able to see somebody because they've had to pull out due to a family bereavement, but their material we have. So the idea is that each of the people who agreed to speak, we will just ask them a little bit about their business. We will then ask everybody, if they wish to put in the chat box any question that we might have. And between us with Craig's eagle eye, we'll see what points are coming up. So when we've gone through your videos, we've had a little chat with each of you, we'll see how we're going time-wise. And at the end, there may be a sort of general question session about how your business has been affected by the pandemic. That's not to suggest that we wouldn't want you to comment on that in the first part. But there's some great material around. Our friends in Germany have sent us a video, which we all think is a lot of fun, be it it's in German, so we don't necessarily all understand it. But there's some good material around. But what I'll do now, if we may, is move to Annie, who is in Karelia in Finland. And just ask Annie, how did you come to get into your business? You know, tell us a little bit about it, and then we'll show the video.
All right, so actually I bought it 10 years ago from my mother and father. So actually I have born here in a guest house. I'm born in this business, but 10 years I have been now as an entrepreneur here.
Okay, sure,
Yeah.
sure. If you're happy, I think the video which explains, which is such a lovely video you've got, if we may play that, which just explains your thinking and your business.
Yeah, please.
So here it comes up, folks.
Am I just give me a steer, guys, on these videos? Is this the one you would like me to play?
There's two, Craig.
So I have them here.
There's two. There's one of the food tour, and then there's one of the cuisine tour, and then there's one of Annie's. One of Annie. So there's two videos.
Let's tee that up, guys, and play it. And
Yeah, this is the one. Yep.
excellent. Here we go.
How do the happiest people on earth cook? Well, my food always consists of 3 things: local and organic ingredients, respecting tradition, and using methods that go back centuries. And always loving what I do and having fun to doing it. This is how we do it. See that?
Okay.
There we go.
Thank you very much. And the other one is, could you possibly show the website, please, which shows some indications as to what can be done at the wonderful facility?
Bear with me a moment. That's a website link there. How's that? I'm just asking, guys, I take it you all had the foresight to eat before you came onto this, because it's nothing like getting an appetite when you see other people working with food.
It's a lovely expression, find your path. That's a nice one. Okay.
I'll scroll up to the top again quickly, guys. There we go.
Thank you. So Annie, come on then. What motivated you to do this?
When we were kids and we were teenagers, we had to work here all our holidays and all the evenings and all so on. And I didn't have any idea to continue this when I was in my 20s. But then I still went to this management school where I was studying 3 years restaurant management, and then I starting as a restaurant manager, and I do that 7 years and so on. And then I went to Helsinki and I worked there as a manager as 1 year, but then I was like, this is not my thing to do from somebody else, the work. And then I started the feeling that what my parents already done, this sustainable thinking and organic farming and having the food that grows next to you, that you're gonna cook that food. So this kind of teams, what they had already here at a guest house. So I thought it 12 years ago that it should be becoming very popular in couple of years, and I want to work just for me, and I want to do it, and I want to figure out that how I can do it very like a business way and so on, so that it's not just a way of living. I want to do the business from it. And I'm very lucky that I have grown up in this kind of teams like sustainability or organic farming and so on, because those words are not very everybody doesn't understand what they are meaning, but I have been always like knowing what they are and why we do, for example, organic, or why we do sustainable. So, but then, but also I wanted to have the money from it. So I wanted to make very good business from it, that we can also live like this in here in I have to say I live middle of nowhere. Yeah. So those are my like motivation why I came back here 12 years ago.
Thank you. That's a very open and insightful answer. That's very interesting. One question that Joan has just asked in the chat box is, she's saying, are the ingredients you showed in the video cultivated or wild plants?
They are actually in that video. We made it last spring, very early spring. So actually everything is wild, which I picked. So nothing was cultivated, because I harvest like I start harvest, or I using cultivated stuff like end of July. So until that, I only use wild herbs.
Right. So it's following from that. I gather you're following the seasons.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Of course,
lovely.
it's very
Lovely.
Yeah. You can imagine when I have 50 centimeters snow, I don't do any green things in my place.
Okay. Well, you just mentioned snow. One of the things that is available on your guest house to guest house touring is the fact you're encouraging keen, and as I was saying to Craig the other night, fit in the sense of, fit and healthy cross-country skiers. Because if somebody's got to do 35 kilometers on cross-country skis before lunch, they've got to be pretty fit.
No, actually, it's not so heavy how it sounds. Actually, it's our tracks are very easy, and the cross-country skiing is a little bit different, and as you have there in Scotland, so it's not same thing. So, but for example, our main customers coming in from Germany and from Switzerland and so on, and they are coming to ski here, and they don't know and having no idea about what kind of food culture we have here in Karelian area.
Okay.
And when they having this 1 week of skiing and eating and having a sauna and sleeping, they are like that. They didn't have any idea what a wonderful food we have here. So they mostly coming here because skiing, not because the food. But after the week, they are very positive about the food what we have here.
Sure. Well, I think I'm right in saying that we've got a cuisine tour film as well. If that could just be shown, Craig, just to prove the point.
Apologize to you guys as well. I am working off an absolutely gigantic screen, and I had assumed you could all see it large. I keep forgetting the fact you might be on different devices. So we will have a look at this, and I will maximize the video this time so you can all see it a little larger. Is that better?
That's fine, thank you.
Retket on 4 majatalon muodostama tuoteperhe.
kerätään yrttejä, kuivataan niitä, käytetään niitä ruoan valmistukseen. Hän tutustuu nimenomaan siihen paikalliseen kulttuuriin ja erityisesti tietenkin sitten se ruoka. Kaikki vieraat ovat olleet tosi yllättyneitä, että tämä ruoka on todellakin hyvää.
Okay, well, as you say, that's very attractive. I think we all want to move with you. So we'll see whether we can introduce a magic carpet between Southwest Scotland and whatever.
Yeah, please. And this time of the year is the very high season of picking and harvest all the wild herbs and vegetables from the wild, because now is the very high season, and there has been so many people already picking for me all the things for the winter, but there is some lack of ingredients. Just come here and take some kind of airplane or something to come here and picking herbs with me. Yeah.
Well, Annie, that's been fantastic. We may come back to you with a couple more questions if we may, but thank you so much for the introduction. As I say, we'll ask you a couple of questions later on. But if we may, we're moving southwest, I think I'm right in saying now, to speak to Helena, who is inland from Bergen in Norway. So Helena, hello. Now, come on, same question. Would you like to, you're on mute, please. Please take yourself off mute.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Yeah. Okay, I have to correct you a little bit. This is not Bergen. This is Nord-Hordaland.
Oh, excuse me, I beg your pardon, but it was the fact that your product has been used in Bergen, forgive me. But please tell us a little bit about how you got into this business, and then we'll see this wonderful video you've made.
It's just a coincidence, actually, like things in life. I was working as an architect, and I was so bored. I just had to do something, so I quit it and started my own antiquarian workshop, actually. And then I found the farm, and at this farm it was 70 years of I don't know what you call it, but I was 70 years behind in development, and all the houses were had fallen down, or one was on their way down. So I have had like a huge work to get it back to business, and I'm still not quite there. I'm now building a new barn, like a big old-fashioned construction, as you could see if you go into my homepage or my Instagram account. You can see some pictures from the barn, and I'm when that's finished, I think maybe I am where I should have been if it has been a continuous process, like farming from the 50s and up to now. And I'm farming as in the 50s. I like Annie. I do everything. I'm ecologic. I don't know what organic you call it, maybe. So I don't use any pesticides or any fertilizer from outside the farm. So my cows are my fertilizers, and I pick the worms myself. And I also do a lot of wild hunting for wild ingredients. Like now we have been picking sprouts. Probably you, Annie, do too, and make this syrup. So I was up until 1 o'clock this night to cook and bottle my my batch of spruce sprout syrup, and I think it's fun to present to people something that they the things I didn't know maybe existed, and I could present this taste. And it's also super important when you do something like this, but the result is very good, because you can't make something and then you hype it. This is the spruce bright syrup who's like so fantastic, and it's not fantastic. So you have to be super careful to make just like the very best things when you're presented to people. And I also do some in the autumn I do guided mushroom hunts. So I take guests into the forest and show them and teach them about the mushrooms, and then we can go home and make something from it. I probably didn't answer your question now.
No, that's lovely. If you agree, if Craig could please show the video that you have with your sheep, that would be lovely. Please, if we could show that one.
We are here.
Personlig så syns jeg at kjøttet på en sau er mye mer smak og mye bedre, vil jeg si, enn på lammet.
Villsauen har jo en spesiell identitet i Vestlandsregionen, spesielt det er mange av våre gjester som kommer hit for å spise villsaue, for de har hørt om villsaue, og det er ikke så veldig kjent utenfor Vestlandsregionen.
Nei, det er jo helt perfekt for villsaue her. Nå har ikke jeg så mye lyng her, da. Men jeg har jo et stort skogbeite med masse lyng. Og der får de mye spesielt om vinteren, da.
Smaken på villsauen vil jo relatere seg til det man spiser, og at de går ute hele året. Og de spiser begrodde steder som gjør at kystlandskapet vårt blir fantastisk.
Det var en stamme på Austevoll som var ganske opprinnelig, så det før det var helt for sent, da, så tok de tak i de dyrene som var der og prøvde å få opp igjen en livskraftig stamme nå, da. Og man sier jo det at villsauen er redda.
Vi er veldig glad i villsauen, og jeg tror gjestene våre setter stor pris på at de får lov til å smake noe så unikt og så en råvare med så stor historie. Det er gøy.
Thank you. Please tell us, you seem to have your animals as part of your family. You have a very close relationship with them. It seems one feels that you have a very close relationship with them. Please tell us, on your website, it seems to suggest that you have other activities to do with knitting and spinning. Could you just tell us a little bit about that, please?
I use a lot of time of I'm not sharing my sheep, I'm plucking them, and I pluck them like individually when they are ripe, and when I see it start to lose, because this is a native sheep who has all these native abilities still, who we have lost in modern sheep breeds, so they will lose their wool in the spring. So now mostly all has lost everything. Some has a little bit left, and some I have to help a little bit. So I have sent my rams to the summer pasture now, and then I cut all of them before. The ones who hadn't lost everything, I cut, and I save all the wool, and I put everything in a sack, like individually, and I mark the sack with the name of the sheep and when I pluck them and how it was to pluck them, and then I keep it, and then I make sample for each sheep every year. So I have like a huge like what do you call it, like a library with all these samples. So I make a wool sample and I have a spinning sample. So I have a sample of thread. So I can monitor the development of the quality of wool through breeding. So I'm very interested in breeding, and I'm breeding on the wool quality. I try to think like a Viking and try what do they want, how did they want the wool, because they kept sheep because of the wool, not because of the meat, because it's a small sheep, it doesn't have that much meat, and it's the wool who was the most important thing. And then they needed wool for a whole range of things, like they made sails from it on their Viking boats, and they also made, of course, the underwear. So this sheep has a whole range of different qualities, so you can and this diversity is so important to keep. Like I have some sheep with like very rough long wool, who is super for if you should make a sail, or if you need like this big mittens for sea, or shoes, you can use this for. And then you can take the other sheep who has softer wool and turn that into underwear garments, who is as soft as the softest you can get from other animals. So and that's the thing that people don't know, that these sheep have this diversity in wool, and that is actually so soft. So it's very fun to work with the wool. Now I get very enthusiastic.
That's a lovely story. Thank you for sharing that with us. Can I just say that I know several people have joined us in the last few minutes, just to remind you gently that this event is being recorded. That's one of the reasons why we've kindly asked you to remain on mute. But that's lovely, Eleanor. It's very good. What I think we should do now, we can obviously come back to you both, mindful of everybody's time. We have a situation where we had invited some of Marie's colleagues from the RON Biosphere in Germany to be part of this project, and they had agreed to be part of it. And they've sent us what I think is a rather fun, quirky video. But because of the challenges of them reopening their property, they haven't been able to come today. So Marie, could you please just tell us a little bit about our third guests and their video from the RON Biosphere?
Yeah, Jürgen, who you'll see in the video, they own a hotel in the RON Biosphere, and they're also farmers as well. So they've got the hotel, and they specialise in lamb, which is a special dish in the hotel, but also they have orchards. So what Jürgen's done is he's very, very good at diversifying. He's created things with apples. So he's created an apple sherry, and working collaboratively with other orchard owners and apple producers. He's got a pretty good collective going on there. So yeah, so he produces apple sherry actually matured in Scotch whiskey barrels, which we thought was quite a nice touch when we went visiting the RON. So yeah, really good business, very enthusiastic guy. Actually does quite a lot of he does quite a lot of work with business startups as well, because he's a very entrepreneurial character. So but yeah, but you'll see this from the video. So if you want to play the video, Craig, we can have a quick look at Jürgen and his team.
Yeah, thanks, Marie. That's a lovely introduction to it. Thank you.
Hallo, herzlich willkommen in Grenzland-Rhön. Hereinspaziert. Hier ist die Rezeption und hier ist unsere Melanie.
An mir kommt keiner vorbei.
Aber mit ihr ist gut Glück. Wir haben hier große Köche in Grenzland-Rhön. Ich bin Jesi. Und ich bin Stefan. Und er ist nichts anderes. Wir reisen jetzt nach Tunesien. Das ist Rian.
Ich bin für die Endkontrolle zuständig.
Das ist Jasmin.
Ich halte sie ordentlich ein.
Ja, das ist der Florian. Ich bringe Sie zum Überschreiben. Das ist der Bill. Das ist unser Hochstapler hier. Und der Abflugpresser.
Ups, Lampenfreude ist mir lieber, sie fliegt nicht. Wir sind gut drauf.
Marie, may I ask you, when you went there and you met them, were they working with other producers in the area? They obviously have got their own apples and stuff. Are they as close knit as it implies?
Yeah, they work with a lot of other producers as well, in terms of, in fact, when we went, the menus are extraordinary, because all the menus identify all the ingredients, well, all the suppliers. They tell you the distance, the miles between the the hotel, restaurant, and where they've sourced the produce from. Really fantastic business, and he works collectively with all other apple producers as well. Really interesting, but the hotel was very, if you can see, it's themed around apples and sheep. So the room that I stayed in actually had green furry walls. It's very bizarre, but that was like the grass. So every room was kind of very quirky. The whole hotel was. But yeah, fantastic business, diversified really well. You know, like I said, he did have lambs as sheep as well as apples, and then working with others, and then championing local produce on all his menus. So exceptional business.
I think you raise a very interesting point, which I'm going to explore in a second when we move to Lindsay. But the fact that they and the others have been able to use local ingredients and emphasize that point seems to me to be very important in this developing era of food tourism and authenticity. And whether or not it's strictly organic is a slightly different issue. But no, it's lovely that they were able to emphasize that, because I know Craig is on the call, and I know that a lot of the work that Visit Scotland and others have done with local businesses here is to say, well, even if your product is locally sourced, you perhaps, I stress perhaps, have not made such an emphasis of that in the way you promote your business. So yeah, that's a very lovely story. Well, I'm sorry they couldn't be with us, but you know, hopefully we'll all go there, or they can come back. So have you set up an import operation for their apple juice aged in whiskey barrels? It sounds promising. Yeah, well, you've got a website, you can buy it on the website. But yeah, really great. Get a great guy, very passionate about his business. Yeah, no, it kind of comes across with regard to the informality of it and the spontaneity of it. And as you say, if you didn't have nightmares sleeping in a room with green wool on the walls, that's great. Sure. Well, thank you for acting on their behalf. As I say, we'll just keep moving, and then we'll come back to some more general questions which have been put into the chat. Lindsay, welcome. I know you're much nearer to home. You're only about 30 kilometers from where I am. Yes. And perhaps you could tell us a little bit about what you do, and then show your wonderful video, if that's agreeable.
Yes, no problem. Yes, I'm the owner of a business called Home Cook School. So initially when I set the business up, it was just a hobby business, and the premise of it was just to simply share my love of home cooking and recipes, and to encourage other people who maybe had less confidence cooking at home to start cooking and enjoy it and relax and, you know, have fun and having friends round and making a nice meal, etc., or cooking for their families, etc. But then that sort of quickly grew into doing community classes and school classes as well. And then that grew into a catering service, so doing a lot of home cooked food for different special events and corporate events, particularly holiday lets, where large groups of people go to stay and want somebody to come in and cater for their event, their special event, in and around the Ayrshire region, which happens to fall within, or most of the areas where I work happen to fall within the Biosphere region.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Yeah, that's really interesting. Knowing that you've been trying to do things in a pandemic year, and I know we supported you with planning permissions and everything else, and you had a tough time getting it approved. If it's agreeable, if we could see the video that you've shared with us so people can see what you're doing now, that's very special. Could you put it up, please, Craig?
Working on it now. There we go.
Thank you.
No worries. I've got to find you in here, haven't I? There you are.
Hi there, I'm Lindsay Beattie. Welcome to the new premises of Home Cook School. This is the gorgeous Richmond Hall, based in the village of Coswold in South Ayrshire. And we have recently moved in here just a few months ago, and it's just undergoing renovations. So I will show you around, tell you a bit about the business, and if you have any inquiries, you can get in touch with me after. So I set Home Cook School up in 2016, and the premise of the business was to share my love and enthusiasm for home cooking by delivering private and group lessons, both in people's homes, within the community, within schools, etc. So that's not only to appeal to no foodies, but also to absolute beginners who are keen to learn a little bit more and build their confidence in the kitchen. But recently, with the move to this new premises, it's going to really allow me to expand the business. We're just about to install a fabulous catering kitchen just through there, so I'm no longer need to work from home. And this will allow us to do a lot more catering, which we also do. And we really pride ourselves in our catering as members of the Ayrshire Food Network, and using lovely locally sourced ingredients where we can. We're also a certified UNESCO Biosphere business, which means we care about the heritage of the food and sustainability in the business. So we will be able to host in this amazing space events for up to 120 people. It's built in the arts and crafts style. Look at fabulous ceiling, and you know, this place was designed for people to get together for events, and that's exactly what we're going to do here, and we're going to cater those events. Phase 2 of the development is to create movable cooking stations. So not only will we be able to go out and deliver our cooking lessons, but also people will be able to come here and learn about good home cooked recipes. So I hope that's been a good brief introduction, and feel free to get in touch if you've got any inquiries. My email address is info@homecookschool.com. Take care.
Thank you very much, Lindsay. I had the occasion 10 days ago to one of my very few journeys I've been able to make since the pandemic to visit Lindsay's facility, and it's stunning inside. And okay, to be candid, there's a lot of work still to be done, but I can imagine that when that dream becomes reality, whether it's September, October, whenever, it'll be a very, very special place. And I hope many of us will be able to support you and use you. And thank you for your mention of the Esher Food Network, because it's one of the things about the work we all do in collaboration is that I think there's the general statement saying you get out what you put in. And Lindsay has been a dramatic supporter of the businesses within the network. So on all her activities, she tends to show where the ingredients come from, whether it's the meat or the cheese or whatever. And I think has created a big momentum, not only for her guests and her clients, but also amongst her colleagues who are suppliers to. So thank you very much for that. And I think if that is an example of trying to create what I call a mycelium, in other words, it's an undercurrent of supply within an area, and the fact that you become a certified producer within the biosphere is very, very important, because I had the involvement initially in considering what those factors and criteria would be. So I hope. Could Craig, have you got one of the slides that Marie sent you, which shows a certified producer or a proud supporter of the biosphere? Have you got one of those which you could just show everybody, please?
Sure, actually on that one. Would it be on the back of one of the presentations, guys, that we have, or?
No, it may be that you haven't got it ready to hand. It's what I can do. Sorry to do it this way, but if you look at my screen, this is the certificate that the Biosphere issues to people. This is us as a proud supporter, but there's another one as a certificate, and it's really pulling together the credentials of the Biosphere and then link it up with supporters. How many supporters and certified producers do we have now in the Biosphere, Marie?
Well, not producers, we've got 29 certified businesses, right, which Lindsay's one of, and we've got about 170 businesses altogether that have got a proud supporters. So yeah, so we're getting more. We've got Anne, who was meant to be here today, Anne's a certification mark business, as is Lindsay. So we've got a mix of food producers, but also tourism businesses as well.
Yeah, it's exciting. I think as the resources grow and you're able to develop that, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're developing the breadth of the scheme, so more and more entities may be able to be considered. Yeah, we just expanded it to include the creative industry sector, so like your jewellery makers and your rug makers and your furniture makers, and also we've expanded it from just from food into drink as well, so we can now certify alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages. Well, that's very exciting, because there's quite a few businesses that then might entail, and some of them are obviously featured in their own videos or on the online marketplace, which is associated with this festival. And I think we've got, is it about 20 online market links, Craig, something like that?
It turns out actual online is 28.
28, okay, sure. So after this event, please explore that, and then some of those producers may then be part of the scheme. Marie just mentioned there that our fifth speaker was basically a new business which has been going maybe 2 or 3 years, and unfortunately they've had a bereavement in the family, but they have sent us some brief summaries of what they're doing. So this is called Salad Brew, and it's in Borg, which is in Dumfries and Galloway. So if you could show those, please, Craig, and then Marie or I will comment to them.
I just explained to you, I took a liberty with this in the wee small hours of the other morning. It was a PowerPoint presentation.
Right.
Given that Norway, Finland, and Germany had all done wonderful videos, I took the Salad Brew presentation and turned it into an animated presentation. And
brilliant.
What I'm happy to do after that, if Marie wants to talk to it, is load the PowerPoint, and you can talk to the slides. Yeah, you can just do the one you produced, Craig. That's fine.
No worries. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, well, that obviously summarizes from my perspective. I've been there a couple of times, and I think that summarizes it very well. I don't know what else you'd like to add, Marie, before I can add perhaps a couple of supplementary comments.
No, I think they also produce chutneys as well, you know, from the actual tomatoes that they produce and that. So, and they're certified, the chutneys are certified on the salad. So yeah, nice, good little business, good little business.
Yeah, I think it's quite interesting because one of the issues that they have faced, and it's worth just reflecting on this for a moment, is that I think I'm right in saying that they are in one of the areas of Scotland, and certainly southwest Scotland, which has very, very, very difficult broadband connectivity. And one of the things that is presumably a potential issue for all our producers in the biosphere is the fact that the ability to be seen and to attract attention and to engage with one's customers in 2021 can be pretty tough. And I know that is one issue that they've had to face. And naturally, during last year and the year before, as with all fledgling businesses, it was a matter of trying to open discussions with people who could become their customers and trying to determine the scale of activity. And within the Ayrshire Food Network, we've had one or two businesses that have tried to engage with much larger businesses, and that's very difficult. So it's not a David and Goliath situation, you know, in one regard, but it's very, very interesting, the situation they've got. And it's a wonderful business, and the quality of the food is excellent. And for those of you who are in Dumfries and Galloway, hopefully their reputation will grow as they work with us. But thank you for sharing that. And as I say, we give our best regards to Anne. One of the things we're at now, we've got about 10 minutes to go, is that if I could just go back and pick up a couple of points that have come up through the system. Annie, a question we've got here for you, please, is could you just explain to us how you've cooperated with the other people on your cuisine tours, please?
Yes, so we are 4 different guest houses, and there is our tours are like you going by skiing or by some bicycle or with canoeing, and we have cooperated now about 20 years. So Minna, she has the agency, and she cooperated already with my parents, and now our cooperating style has been go more deeper and deeper last 10 years, and we marketing together, especially for international guests. But it's very important that nowadays, because the pandemic, that we try to translate our this tours for that they fit also for our domestic customers. And it's very important that we are so similar here, or the guest houses, that we can work together. And also it's the values, what we stand for. It's most important to thing when you cooperate it with somebody else or somebody else business, that the values are the same. And it's because our very deep cooperation is also because we are all for very strong ladies who are running these businesses. So, so that's why we are also very we can talk so very different things. Yeah,
Okay,
but
that's
the values behind all the things are very important.
yeah. Thank you.
Can I ask a question, Howard, to Annie?
Of
So
course.
in terms of the food, do people learn how you cook the food? Or so they eat the food and learn how to cook the food?
Yeah, in the cooking courses, we have a different team in different houses, and then we learn them how to cook, and then they are going to eat the food. But it's very that we learn also from to cook, and learn from the ingredients what we are using.
Okay, thank you. So it's an excellent question, and thank you for your honest and open answer. May I ask, Helena, do you work with other businesses in your area? You know, I don't mean the restaurateurs necessarily. You're on mute, please. You're still on mute. You're still on mute. Oh, that's fine.
Sorry.
It's okay. Okay. So may I ask, are you like Annie? Are you working with other businesses in your area?
Not like Annie, but we have this we call it Taste of Nordhordland. We are a lot of farmers and restaurants who is in kind of this in the Biosphere. We is in kind of a network, and we try to point on each other. So now I'm in the beginning of a new cooperation with some others who also have, they don't exactly, they are not like me, but some have restaurants and some has guest house, and we are four, and I had this workshop to come up with ideas, and then I came up with this idea that we could make this kind of treasure hunt in the area, and so we take join all who is producing food in this area, and also use fishing. So we could make like weekend stays there they could, and we have a professional cook with the people, and they the guests decide what to do and where to go, and maybe they want to fish, mushroom hunting, go to somebody's garden to pick things and build up a dish through like the treasure hunt in the area, and end up with a like grand party in the end where they cook and serve and eat what they sell themselves has like found or picked or bought around in the area.
Yeah, well, thank you. That's really interesting. I can imagine it's a lot of fun as well. Just moving over to Lindsay, if I can ask Lindsay there, in terms of how easy is it for you to, you know, source local ingredients for your business?
I think it is quite easy. There's a lot of local businesses that are happy to deliver, you know, ingredients, etc. I mean, we have like a local vegetable grower who supplies the greengrocer, and they deliver, so we get things which are grown you know, just a few miles along the road. The only thing is that it's very seasonal, so there are periods where, you know, those things just aren't available because they're you know, not harvesting them until a certain time of year. But yes, it's for most things it's easy. There's no, I can't find a local chicken producer. That's something I've searched high and low for in Ayrshire, and surprisingly, although there are chicken farms, you can't buy them directly anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, most things are easy enough to get.
Sure. Okay. Craig, could I ask please that you just show the Ayrshire Food Network gallery shot that you had, please? Taking Lindsay's point, this is just a visual representation of some of the people that are in our network. There's lots of just images on it, but if you could just scroll down it, please. You can see that there's a lot of different types of businesses, whether it's vegetables or fish or cheese or chutneys or milk or all sorts of different things there. There's a couple of shots of Wendy in there as well at the last Ballantrae Festival, the real one. But no, it just shows you, as you say, there's a whole lot of people around who can help. There's the wonderful shot there of the blackthorn sea salt and various other things. But it's an interesting array of businesses, 6 of whom have joined us in the last year. But it was just to show you a variety of things. I think the last thing I would say really before we kind of bring this to a close is, Craig, could you please put up the photograph of a gentleman called Carlo Petrini? Because Annie talked about values. And one of the things that strikes me is that for many people around Europe, if not globally, there are various movements around, and the slow food movement is one of them, which is all about 3 issues. And you may be able to see the screen behind me. It's right at the back of this room. It's about good tasting food. It's about clean impact food, and it's about fair trade. And this gentleman, this was taken 5 years ago when Carlo Petrini visited Dunlop Dairy, and the gentleman behind him, his painting, is a guy called Charlie Jameson. And Carlo was talking about the values. And correct me if I'm wrong, Walter and others, that on the end of this month, the Slow Food has got a whole event which is looking at climate change and the Action Day. So all I'd say is that going forward, it's a very, very interesting issue of how we bring commonality of standards to do with what we're all doing. I do think the last hour has been fascinating, and I thank our guests very much for their openness as to what they've been talking about. Just to confirm, this hour of event will be viewable the same time tomorrow, and thereafter, subject to any edit issues, for the whole of the year. So you've been part of history, for which I thank you. Byrie, would you like to just make some closing comments, ma'am, about how we've taken the thing forward today?
Right. Am I unmuted yet? Yes.
Yes, you are. You're very clear.
Thank you. Right. Well, I just want to thank you so much for giving your time and the interest that you've all shown. Annie and Helene, thank you so much for coming over the North Sea, and please next year, when we might even manage to have it as a live event, you're very welcome. We would love to see you. So thank you very much. And at the moment, we've also got the food festival in the background, and so please take time and have a look at it. There's a lot of interesting stalls, and maybe you buy something, I don't know. But thank you so much. It's been a delight. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your leadership of this project. And if I may say thank you so much to Craig, who's brought this together in an epic way, notwithstanding the name of their business. And I think I know from other people around Scotland, they're eager to learn as to how we've managed to do this in the way that we've done it. So thank you everybody for being involved, and I confirm that it should be available to review this time tomorrow. But thank you so much, and see you all again soon. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.